We're live.
For timing. Holy cow. I didn't think I was going to make it back into the chair in time.
I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, there is this phenomenon known as the Great John Butler Disappearing Act. Boom, he reappeared. So we're going to get into Santa photos and MontessoriSchool promos. I want to show some poses. I want to show my marketing. I want to talk a little bit about all that, and we'll get into your stuff too. We got a video we're going to show with John that John had made. John, before we get into any of that stuff, anything new and exciting you want to talk about insofar as running a photography studio is concerned?
No, don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. No, things have been going good. Like, we've been running around crazy here. My wife's been on my case the last couple of days because there's so much that I got to get done. And
the honey-do list.
Always, yeah, she's making sure we did it. Like, I had a whole bunch of my Christmas minis from our mini session come in, and I've been packaging them all up, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that or not. That was from our Christmas minis of 11 by 14 that just came in. So I've been packaging them all. We had a couple that had to go to the framery yesterday so that they can get.
So framed. you do the annual Christmas themed mini family photo shoot. Is it going well this year? Because I know it was pretty.
Yeah, it was less people this year. I don't know why, but it was. But I think our average sale went up. Like, it's not huge. It's not no Maria numbers, that's for sure. I wish, but we have our averages are probably somewhere between the 300 to 500 per family, so it's not crazy. But I think next year will be even better because we didn't promote it as well this year, I don't think. So next year I'm going to try what you do with the promoting on Facebook, like the paid promotion ones.
Oh, you haven't tried that yet?
I've only tried it once way in the past years ago, but not for this. So I think
all right,
next year I'm going to try that.
I think it's worth looking into.
Yeah, and it's funny because
I'll help set up your ads if you want to.
I had one. She ended up paying, I think, like she paid the normal $95 to do the session, which gave her an 8x10. But also they ended up paying like an extra, I want to say it was about $600 altogether on top for stuff. And it was funny because when she was here, and I've known her for years, my wife knew her when they were kids and that, and her first words that came out when she was doing the ordering session was, "You're so expensive." So I had to sort of tell her why we priced the way we did, but she ended up being one of my top sales. So
nice.
You never know.
She had to wrap her head around that.
Yeah.
You have to show her Maria's price list or Maggie's.
Oh, I know, because I think it was Maria. She followed in the Sandy Putsch or the whatever kind of pricing. I think where an 8x10 is like $130 or $140 or something like that.
Nah, it's more like $380 US.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean,
that's what it was. Like, if anyone's watching or watching the replay, we're talking about Maria. We had her on last week. She's the queen of sales, and I'm going to put Maggie in that same. And crazy goals, and she achieves them every time. And she really is a big believer in maximizing the ability to create as much profit as possible and do it while the clients love it every minute of it. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping to get to there.
I hate to use excuses when I think this way, but I often think about there might be some consideration, not an excuse, but a consideration for the fact that both her and Maria and other photographers like them. And I could be dead wrong, and I'm totally open to it. But a lot of them, they are in very affluent areas, like Maggie's in Oakville.
Yeah, which is a very
Burlington,
rich area.
Very, very. And like, I think where Maria's at now, North Carolina, is a pretty affluent area as well, I'm pretty sure. So, or at least there's a population base that's very affluent. I'm in a mining community, blue collar, a lot of union, that type of stuff. You're sort of similar, John, that you're all farms, and but I know people who are in similar areas and they get really good sales. So maybe it's just me making excuses. I don't know.
I'm in the same vote with you, because I know when I first moved here, when I was putting my pricing together like 10 years ago, my wife she's born and raised in this area, and she's like, "Oh, you're never going to get that here. This community does not pay for stuff like that."
And she was mistaken,
I had to kind of
right?
prove her wrong, yeah, because
you did it. All right.
I'm still here 10 years later, and I'm still considered one of the more expensive photographers in the area, but people still come. So
good. That's the important thing.
Yep.
People still come.
I'll fix my camera while you're talking.
So, well, I might as well go first then. And on that note, in our area, I always wanted to be perceived as the most expensive studio, or at least up there. And I price accordingly, and I market accordingly. So, for example, when we've done direct mail, I used to do cold mail through the post office. And you could at the time, and you could still do that to this day, where you can go to the post office and look at all the different postal walks. And I would select 4,000 homes based on certain neighborhoods that I wanted to go after. So I purposely went after these demographics and these markets, and I would mail out my newsletters, and I would mail out postcards. So I don't do much of that anymore. I really, really am focused on only marketing to fairies and those types of promotions, and pop-up weddings. So that's kind of where we've gone into with our studio, and we do quite well with those. So it keeps us very happy, and but we do cross promotions for families, and one of the big ones we do is with the Montessori School. I've known the principal at the Montessori School for like 20 years now. Her and her husband and their 3 daughters, and it's a small community. You get to know people. I've seen them around over the years at many, many networking events and Christmas parties and what have you. So anyways, a bunch of years ago, we said, do you want to do a promotion where we can do a fundraiser through the school and our studio? And we did that. And I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to get so much into the whole history of it all. I don't think it really matters. But I will show you and update you on the current flyer that we used and how we promoted it and how we managed to I think we got 18 sessions this time around, which was to me that was a home run.
Cool.
Okay, well, you know what, I'll explain some more about that, but the first thing I'll do is I'll show.
Sorry about that. Just before we went live, I forgot I had to change my battery on the camera because it was low, and then it just went off on me there. So
boom.
I had to change batteries. My bad. I didn't plug it in today. I just used the battery. Right.
You can see my screen?
I can see your thumbnails.
Good. All right. So I'm going to go into talk a little bit more about the actual marketing, but then I'm going to show some technical stuff. And I'm going to what I'm really excited about showing you guys today is the posing. I love photographing families. It's probably my favorite thing of all things. When people ask me, what's your favorite thing to photograph? I always jokingly say naked girls, of course. No. But no, actually, I find boudoir very, very challenging because it's very personal, and man, you got to do a good job. Everything's exposed. Ha ha ha. So you can see that 8.5 by 11 flyer, right, John? Did I lose John? Oh, John's hung up. I'm just going to assume you guys can see it. And yeah, it doesn't look right at this end. So, John, what happened to you? Let's see if he comes back. I think he's having problems with his internet. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to keep going regardless. Hopefully you guys can at least get the gist of what I'm saying. So when we first started doing this fundraiser, we would print an 8.5 by 11 with a trifold from Vistaprint, and the screen, you can see the screen, is that side A of the flyer. This last couple of years, all we've done was I created a JPEG and posted it on Facebook and emailed it to the school. No, actually, I don't think we did Facebook. Sorry. This was to be promoted strictly to the parents of all the students at Montessori. That's what we did. We do not put this on Facebook because it only goes to them. So it includes a family portrait session, and it's $49. The entire amount is donated to the school. So what we do is we used to do it for the month of November, and last year and 2 years ago, my wife said, why don't we just try one day only, which we did, and the numbers shot through the roof. So we decided we're going to keep it a limited 1 or 2 days. This year, we had some issues. I think there was a COVID scare, or some kid got tested positive, and we had to open up a few extra days. and some parents were nervous, so they had to reschedule, which we did for them. The most important thing is that it's limited time, and we were able to accommodate them. So as soon as the whole promotion is done, by the way, we instantly write up a check and I deliver it to the school in person. That's really important. You don't want to come across as somebody who's going to be a little bit weaselly on that one. So I wish I knew what happened to John. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he'll come back. I hope you guys can see my screen. And so that's what we did to book it out this year and last year, and it's worked out really, really well for us. I wanted to show this picture because I wanted to show this light. This is a Alien Bee PLM up in the right-hand corner. You can see it right here. It's 6 feet. It's massive. It's a big umbrella, and then you buy the diffusion panel to go in front of it. I can't use that thing all the time because I need space. So a couple months ago, I did a chamber awards banquet, and they hired me to do pictures. And I showed this already. I talked about it, but the reason I'm bringing it up again is to show you that I had a lot of space, so I brought that light. I really like that light whenever I can use it. It's quite demanding, though, for space. So here's the result, one of the samples from using that light. It's quite nice. I really like it. So here it is in the studio. So for the Montessori school, I set up the PLM, same one, and in front of a 12-foot paper backdrop. Everybody got the same backdrop. So there's a kicker light right here, and there's the PLM. I shot at about 100 ISO at f8. I mostly use the Sony 55mm or the 85mm Batis lens. Okay, here's the PLM from PulseBuff. I went and checked it out, and I don't know if you have a 6 foot, 6 times 12 is 72, is it not? And I couldn't see 72 here. Maybe that's it there. I don't know. But I measured it. It's 6 feet. So maybe they don't have that exact size anymore. But this is pretty much the idea. So if you're interested, go to PulseBuff, and there's several sizes here, and you can check them out for yourself and see what you think on that. So, sorry guys, I just want to see if John's back. Oh no, he's not. Again, I hope you guys can see the screen. So all of these sessions that I booked and photographed, they all had young kids, every single one of them. I'm really, really good with kids. I photograph been photographing families for decades. So I developed a real knack for it. And plus, I'm from way back in my early 20s, I was for many years a school photographer, so I got very used to working with kids. I love kids. I'm good with them. I'm a natural, so that helps. So when the parents come in, the first thing I do is I don't rush into the studio. I ask them to sit down in my lobby, and I have a talk with them, and I talk to them, and I say, look, I just want you guys to remember not to instruct, coach, or repeat anything I say. And they always say, yeah, no, we're not going. And then they start doing it right away. So I say, oh, you just did it. You asked your little guy to listen to the man, which is me. So I asked them not to do that, and I try and get their heads straight. So 99% of the success of working with kids is getting the adults under control. This is really important. So when I'm talking to the kids, if there's an older kid, like in this one, I work through the oldest. So the middle one might be nervous, shy. The little one's going to be next to mom always. That's pretty much what I do almost always. And so I'm talking to the older kid the most. And that way, this guy is looking at me and going, yeah, I trust this guy. If Lucas trusts him, I do too. So that's how that works. As far as the psychology behind the... John, you're back.
There we go.
What happened?
My internet just conked out for some reason, so we're resetting the router. So I'm just actually right now quickly on my phone with my data.
So we're going to wait till that reboots, and I'll just carry on?
Yeah, just carry on, because I can at least watch you and carry on and do your thing.
It's important that you tell me. Can you see my screen again? Hold on.
Yeah. I'm not yet, but I was seeing it. Okay. Now I can, yeah, I can see you're doing something. Now I see it. Yes. I see the family there.
All right, good. I wasn't sure because I kept carrying on like as if everybody could, and I wasn't 100% sure. I like that.
I was hoping. I went and looked at it live on my phone, and you were still going. So at least the show was still going.
Yeah.
So
that's the psychology guys behind working with families. You have to be really, really patient with children, and you have to be able to give adults clear, concise. You're almost. I always often have compared it to being a movie director. You know, who's the guy that directed Jaws?
And Cameron? No, James Cameron.
No. Oh, come on. Cameron was probably in high school when Jaws came out.
Maybe, I don't know. Kubrick? No.
No.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of directors.
he's like one of the most famous directors in the world. Anyways, he did Jaws, and he did the one with Tom Hanks, the D-Day movie, Saving Private Ryan.
Not the one Coppola?
No, he's it's all good. It just, his name escapes me right now. But my point is this, is that I'm like a movie director, and I'm working with all these people, and you have to be able to positively and clearly explain to everybody where you're going with this, and then give them directions, and at the same time be aware of everything that's going on. Expression, pose, best lighting, best angle. You know, our dad's glass is going to reflect a lot of light. What about mom's? And on these shots here, I'm shooting nice and low. It's the first pose I did for everybody. Is I just had mom and dad stand there, and I just watched what happened. Mm-hmm. Just watched what happened. And I really did not pose a lot. Same here. Then I had them sitting down. So I did a whole series of poses with this. And look at how the boys are smiling. I'm being a goofball here and talking to the boys. Probably the oldest one. And I probably said something stupid like, okay, Lucas, I want you to remember the number one rule. The number one rule is no farting. And they don't expect you to say that. And they start laughing. And if he's laughing, he's going to laugh. And if they're laughing, he's going to laugh. And mom and dad, well, they're doing pretty good. Okay, so same thing here. So lots and lots of energy when I'm photographing these. And for each session, I'm getting about probably 60 to 100 poses. And that's what I shoot. Then I'll narrow it down. Then I did a shot of the three boys. Now, this is a tough thing to do when you got this much energy in the room. So I purposely put them on a bench to keep them in one place. Because this little guy, I've lost him, 10 minutes ago. So I said, okay, we're going to put them on a bench. That way they're all they can't really escape. So here's another family, and I photographed a little guy. He's being held by mom and dad. And these are poses that they ordered, by the way. I'm not showing you the whole session. So again, we got mom and dad's just laying there, and I said, well, let's just see what happens. And I'm shooting. They like this pose, so they ordered it. And there's the family just straight on. And they ordered this one here in black and white. I think they ordered a 24 by 24 black and white, and it looked really good.
I love black and white.
Yeah, I would 100% shoot everything in black and white if I had the option. Mm-hmm. So here's another family. I sometimes will get them to jump just to keep them in one area, and this is what I was doing here. And another family from the same session, from the same Montessori promotion. This family here had been in my studio 2 years ago. They had taken advantage of the promotion, and I remembered them because of his hair. When they showed up, I said, oh, I remember you guys. And he has an Asian wife and these cute little kids. So the poses are very, very, very easygoing, not horribly structured, and I try and go for a lot of energy. So same thing here. They have mom and dad, and then they have a little girl, and she had a son, I guess, from when she was younger. He's like 18 years old, so he's really tall, really, really tall. I always shoot pictures of mom and dad and the kids alone, and they often order those. So this is a family from Brazil. You meet the coolest people through the Montessori school. I mean, most of them, they have money. I'm just going to say it. They're well-to-do. We often get a lot of international families, so I like to do this pose whenever possible, and that's a whole lot of fun. You know, I ask mom or dad to flip the little guy upside down. There they are right there. So very natural poses. She have done this with the little guy, and I said, "Oh, can you do that again?" And you know, these are pictures that they ordered, and mom and dad alone, and then some of the two kids. So, and the kid doesn't like that with his sister grabbing him.
Nobody likes when their sister grabs them.
Yeah, no, especially when you're 18 months old. So this family here showed up, and I said, "Oh, I just can mom and dad just? Normally I don't do this, but I did it for this family. I don't know why. I think she's expecting. That's one thing. And they ordered it, so I just started off with mom and dad, and then I had the little girl. Isn't this the cutest little girl you've ever seen ever? She's so cute." And then one family just brought in their teenage son, he's like 13 or so, and the dog. And I said, "That's fine, we can do that." And then I did some fun poses. By the way, do you get a lot of dogs, John?
I used to. I don't much anymore, but I do get some, yes.
I encourage people to bring their dogs in. And a lot of people know this. I'll just mention it. And that is that, well, there's two things about photographing dogs. I tell the parents and those who are coming in, the whole family, when they're there, I say, "Okay, you guys, I just want you to unleash the dog and just let him go. Don't even look at him." It's the same thing as with a 2-year-old. Don't instruct, don't coach, don't repeat anything I say, because all of a sudden everybody gets all ornery on the dog and they want the dog to sit and just sit. But the dog's not going to do that because the dog's not really obedience trained. And so I have that discussion, and I take my time, and I just let the dog go. Ignore the dog. At some point, the dog will just settle in and go, "Okay, I've checked the place out. We're safe." You know, dogs are dogs. And then I'll start into the photo shoot. Now, I have a little squeaky toy that you can buy from the pet food store or the pet store, you know, PetSmart.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them. They're quite loud, and I use them for kids all the time. And I have it in my back pocket. And when I fire that sucker, man, that you get the best expressions from the dogs. So, and then I tried different angles. This is just a fun angle. This is the one she ordered. She ordered a wall portrait of this. So I'm on a bench or on the stool or something, shooting down with the 55 mil. So here's another family. Again, very, very casual. As you'll notice, 99% of the time, I put the youngest child with mom because they're the closest. And I just wait and see what happens. Dad's eyes are half closed, but they ordered it anyways. Then the little girl's just being a goofball. And little boy's being a goofball. So just these are the ones they ordered. So I love shooting this way. It's just very spontaneous. And
I love those chairs those kids were on there.
Yeah, I forget where I bought those, but they were pretty cheap. Vintagey looking. You know, little kids will do this real easy. When they're older, it's like, well, it's wrong, but mom here is pregnant. You can see.
Yep.
Oh, the little boy's got his arms spread out because I have a ball and I'm bouncing it, and I've thrown it to dad a few times, and I said, "Okay, your turn. Are you ready to catch the ball?" That's how you get him to stay put.
But I always watch when you say, "Are you pregnant?" Because if they're not, then you're mud in the face.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. This family came in 2 years ago as well, and these are some of the ones they ordered. The little boy in the middle, I forget which one. The one on the left, he's looking off here. He's got autism, so he's nonverbal. And we did a pretty good job. Some of the girl alone, she was a goofball. And that's the previous mom who's pregnant. She wanted one with her baby to show that she's pregnant. So
yeah,
this family here, yeah, close up, full length, my old box, my white box, which is all corroded. So this is the one they ordered, a black and white wall portrait. Okay. I thought it was the other one. This is the one they ordered. This one. This was a nice order. Okay, this is this girl here. And this girl are sisters. I photographed the family before, and I photographed this family a couple of years ago. I'm going to show you that picture in a minute.
Okay.
But this order was really nice. They ordered like 4 or 5 wall portraits, and they love these. This is one of which they ordered. This is chaos. Now, when I'm shooting this, I'm shooting it and I'm saying, oh, I love this kind of stuff. This is real life. I'm saying that kind of stuff. And I'm telling them, I said, this is what it's like when you have this many children. And, you know, this is the kind of chaos that represents really what it's like in that situation. And they sort of understand that versus very structured and very posed. So these are all images that they ordered as wall pictures. So
he's got, if you didn't see the rest of him, you just saw his face, he's got that Jason Momoa, the guy who plays Aquaman, look to him.
Oh, he does, yeah. The dad. Yeah, he's got long hair. I'm going to show you a picture from when they came in the first time they came in a couple of years ago in a minute. So I just wanted to show you the crazy samples I got in the images, and these are all ones that they ordered. I told the mom I really liked her shoes. I said, we're going to highlight the shoes and have you stand this way, and that's what I did. So they're kind of funky-looking boots, eh? So, yeah. So there they are right here.
In the red there, yeah.
Yeah, and that's this guy here. So since then, they've had 2 more babies. And he's got no beard, but long hair. And there's one of the section of the orders that would they were sitting out there waiting for them to pick them up last week. I said, I'll just take a picture with my cell phone.
How big are those, like 16 by 24 or something like that?
I believe they are masonite mounted with a laminate on it. They ordered 2 other ones, but they're off to the side. There were some canvas orders in.
They're awesome.
So yeah, they're doing like a gallery, you know, in their home. So that's the Montessori thing. What I got, I wanted to talk about how I shot them, how I marketed it, and how important it is to work with as an affiliation with local groups, and in this case, the Montessori school. And got a whole, like I said, I think I got 18 bookings. They're prepaid, so when they call the book, my wife collects the money right away. Otherwise, they're not coming in. And they just get the photo shoot. They don't get a print or anything. You know what I mean? That's all they get. And no one's ever complained, ever. And they've all had nice orders. So
and you all do your same pricing that you normally do in your studio, right? You don't change it because it's a school thing? You don't change the price of the prints or anything?
Goes off the regular price list. And, you know, they like the experience. I mean, if they didn't like me or if they didn't enjoy the whole experience, that would be a game changer. But, you know, we really
How can anybody not like you? Come on.
I know. Call me Mr. Lovable. But they they really do like the experience, and they see how well I work with the kids. And we did a pop-up wedding 2 weeks ago, and there was a little 6-month-old baby in the church, and mom was sitting with her towards the back, just sort of she could keep things quiet. And I was kind of talking to the little baby, and she was all like smiling at me. Anyways, that mom called and booked her. She came in yesterday and brought her little baby in for a 6-month session. And I think the reason she did that was because she really liked how I connected with her little baby, and she thought, this is really cool. And 6 months is a really good age to get some amazing baby pictures. And anyways, that was a successful shoot yesterday with a 6-month-old. But the point being that they enjoy the session. They enjoy how I work with kids. If you're, you know, at all impatient or a cranky bear or in any way inappropriate, bad manners, whatever. And I'm sure, John, you're the same way because you're a fun-loving, easygoing guy when it comes to photographing. When it comes to photographing kids and families. So,
yeah, I try.
It's my favorite. So that's what I got.
I just found out my wife just got off the phone with Kojiko, and apparently it's an outage in the whole area. So that's why it went out. Right. So luckily I have data on my phone here. So you're in control of this whole thing now. So.
Oh, we can't even show yours, eh?
Well, you probably don't see it down there, do you?
No.
We have. That's okay because I'm on my cell phone, so I can actually do the walkthrough live if you want. Because I'm right here. The video I shot I did like an hour before, and I'm here.
So John created a video to show you guys, and we're not going to be able to do it because of the outage. Do you have like a weather thing going on there? Because we're getting lots of
fine.
snow.
We don't know why. It could be just somebody hit a line or something. Who knows? They said they're going to try and get it up right away as soon as possible. So she called to make sure. I thought it was because, remember, I told you today I complained about my rep and all that stuff, and I thought maybe they cut me off. But no, it's apparently it's an outage all over the area here.
That freaking Butler guy again. Pull the plug on him.
Now, how does my volume sound? Okay.
It sounds really good, yeah.
That's my new Deity Video Micro. That's actually, that's plugged into my phone here.
What is it?
It's like the little Rode mics you can get,
right?
But it's one by Deity, and I'll have to show you after. I'll show you my setup. And,
how do you spell that? I'm going to go Google that while you're doing this.
It's Deity, and it's called a V mic. So the letter V is in video. V mic. Mini.
There's a D4V and a D3 Pro.
Not the D4 Duo, but it's called the V mic Mini.
All right, I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm actually in my studio, so I'm gonna go to the front room here, and I'll do basically the video all over again, but live.
That's fine. Well, thanks for doing that, John.
No, thank you for letting me. I'm just gonna go into my cam here. And I'm going to switch my camera to the front camera here because I'm learning how to do this. So hopefully, if I click on this and then go there, instead of me, you can see in front of me, right?
Yep.
All right. So right now, there's outside. So you can see there's no storms or anything, just very cold and white. That's all. But the one thing we like about my studio, and you know that because you've been here before, is we're on basically one of the main streets in our area. That's the main street that goes from Petawawa through Laurentian Valley, where we are now, right there where that far building is down there, that's Pembroke, and it goes right through the other side of Pembroke. So we have 30 to 40,000 cars going by this street all day long. So it works really well. So they all park out there, of course, and they come in. And when they come in for our Santa pictures, it's not playing now for some reason, but it was earlier. Usually on the TV there, we have little Christmas music going for the Christmas stuff. So we got playing on Amazon Music some Christmas music, and as they walk in, this is what they see. So one of the first things they see when they walk in is our little mailbox there. Well, it's not really so little, but our mailbox where the kids can put their letters for Santa in there, and then we go and take it to the post office box and mail it for them. That way they get a letter from Santa back.
They do that.
If you ever did that when you were a kid, but
I don't remember.
Yeah, you mail it to the post office. As long as it's got Santa Claus, North Pole, Canada, ho, 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 and you put your return address on it, they have like a form letter that they just stick in an envelope and they mail it back to the kid saying that he got a letter from Santa.
I didn't learn how to read and write until I was 15.
And then we have like little Christmas decorations on our front room there. We got our Christmas tree. It's only two presents in there. I guess one for me and one for Colleen. I don't know. And then we have our creepy dolls that my kids don't like.
How come?
I don't know. I got these at Costco. There's the male there, and over there is the female. And I put these out every year, and my kids are creeped out by them. They say it's creepy, and they're never coming home. They're not allowed to come home. So, and then we have our little decoration. So we decorate it kind of nice. We even have our basket here with a little thing in there. So we try to make it look nice and Christmassy for when they first walk in. Nice. So when they walk in, that's what they see. And then when it's their turn, they'll sit down because we have them spaced out 5 minutes apart. We use Calendly. So we have a calendar on there. They go, they book their time, and they book 5-minute slots. So they come in with their masks on, take their shoes off, and they have a seat and wait for it's their turn, and we'll come get them. Mm-hmm. And while they're waiting, we do have our price list for the Christmas pictures there. So you can see, and it's got what we take, how they can pay, because we'll do whatever we can to take their money. So we make it easy for them. And then we come and get them. And when they come and get them, we bring them in here. And there's where Santa usually stands, right there when they're coming in, right in that little fenced area there. He's got his mask on, and the kids come in right here. And we have a bench there for the parents to sit later if they don't want to be in the picture. So they sit there and they confab with Santa for a little bit, find out what they want for Christmas, things like that. And usually I'm going to give you the ambiance more because usually we have the lights turned off because then it looks better when we do our thing. So they're in there doing that. It kind of, the lights off helps to get rid of all the background stuff too. Usually right here, I had it on the video if I was able to play it, is one of the pictures from the last people would be showing on that big screen TV there. It's a 32-inch screen. So we use Lightroom. So on Lightroom, on the one side on our laptop, we have the normal Lightroom page with all the thumbnails and the one image. But on this side, it just shows one image at a time. So it's nice. So as we shoot it, it shows up on there. And then that's how we scroll through it with the parents to see what they want to order.
Very good.
They go through the TV there. And so when they come in, after the kids have talked to Santa there, you can see Santa's chair right there. So then he'll go and sit in his chair there, which is behind a big structure we built last year with plexiglass in it.
Nice.
We had to actually cut a foot off this year because my ceiling's only 7.5 feet, whereas
the mall's you should let everybody know this is the same sort of display you had at the mall. Yes, this is almost identical to last year's display. A little bit different modifications to fit it in my studio, but we actually usually have a bigger display when we're in the mall, usually. Yeah. The mall.
And this one we have a gate here for Santa. That way he can get in and out.
Caged Santa.
Bad he gets Santa. Caged in there. And then we have the ottoman here that they sit on. Now we put a black sheet on it because we found when we were shooting, the white top to that was actually reflecting in the glass. Oh. So we put a black sheet. Now it doesn't reflect in there at all, which is nice. Yeah. And there's Santa's chair. So he sits back there. The kids would come over and sit right on that ottoman there, or the parents and the kid, whoever's getting in the picture. And we've had once where we've had like 10 people in there if we had to. We'll fit them in there.
Really?
And yeah, because we can actually, there's room right over here to stand, and there's room on that side to stand. And then we could fit 2 or 3 people sitting there. Plus they put kids on their laps and some people on the floor here. And so we could fit them all in there. And then Santa just sort of gets up and stands up to the glass there, and he just sort of waves as he does it. And I'll show you some samples because I do have samples here I can show you. And then we have, I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yep, we see it.
Usually it's brighter. But we got our little elves. Usually have my blue light behind him, but he's shaking his light there. So we have our little animatronic elves, and then we have Rudolph here, and this little elf's actually brushing them. It's hard to see. There he goes. He's moving now. He's got a little brush on him. The kids love this because Santa displays them and talks to him. This guy, his head's only moving because the arms actually aren't working. We have to get that fixed. But he's got a little toy horsey thing there that he's trying to put in there. And then on the ladder, we got this little guy, and he's actually measuring with a tape measure to see if he can fit it in there or not.
Right.
And then we have another little girl down here, a little elf, and she's actually got a little needle and thread, and she's sewing the stocking.
Cool.
And then the last one, of course, is this little girl here, and she's got a little ornament there, and she's trying to decorate the tree.
Nice.
So it shows it better, I think, on the video and that. So we have that on there. And even though these are sparkling like that, of course, when my flashes go off, actually, that's what I didn't do, is I didn't turn my lights on here. That's why. And when my flashes go off, of course, those lights don't show.
No.
So, and there's my monolamps coming on finally.
Nice, nice.
That would have lit it up in there a little bit better for you now. See, now you can see them just a little bit better.
It showed up pretty good regardless.
Yeah. So that's how we do the thing. And then what we do is I've got one of my Einsteins here on a boom arm with it's about probably I don't know, 8 inches by 30 inch, I guess, little strip bank, mini strip bank.
That's your main light?
That's one of them. And then I got another one of the same strip bank over here. So we're just doing like a flat lighting coming in from both sides, just to light everybody. And then when I'm shooting, I'm down like this, and we got our vinyl flooring down. Yeah. And so when I'm shooting like this, like, I don't know if you can see, but like you don't get any glare in that glass at all.
Looks like it's not even there.
No, exactly. So that's how we do it in that way. Since we had to do it in a way that we got no glare in there. Mm-hmm. And we just shoot away. And then what happens is I'm shooting on my laptop or on my camera. Somewhere down there is my tripod's right about there. And I got a cord coming over to the laptop, which is usually right here. I have my laptop on Lightroom. And that DNP printer right here is plugged into the laptop. Yeah. So when they say, okay, I want this many, we hit print. 10 seconds later, they print out on here. Yeah. And the problem is DNP right now has got a shortage in North America for their ink and paper for this.
I remember you were saying.
And we haven't been able to get any. So I think I have probably about another 60 or so left on there. And after that, we've got our trusty little Epson down here. That we used to use all the time. It's not as good. It's more expensive because we have to do separate inks and put the paper in manually, but it's going to do the job. And so as soon as this one runs out, I'll be taking that off, and we'll go right down to the Epson. We've got extra print in that. And we take cash, or we got our credit card thing right there that goes with the cell phone with it.
Nice.
So we take their money, and we have another price list up on the wall there for them. And then the way they come out, I have some here from last year. Of course, I can't open this. There we go. And hopefully you'll be able to see them okay. But you can kind of, let's go into the light.
Into the light.
So you can kind of see how they come out.
Oh, nice.
So they don't come out too bad, actually.
No, it doesn't.
This is from last year at the mall.
Doesn't even look like there's a plexiglass there.
No. Now, it's better when, of course, they can sit on his knee, but
yeah.
And then every kid that comes, when they buy their pictures, we put them in these little mounts here that we get from a place in British Columbia, Vancouver area. And when you open it, it's got my logo and stuff on it.
Yeah.
A room that they can put the year and everything. And then the printers go right in there. There's those little, in the corners here, there's little punch or things that you could put the frame in there, the picture in there. It takes 4x6s. So they get those. And every kid that comes to see Santa also gets a little activity book to take home, which is about a 5x7 size.
Nice.
And when you open it up, you can see it's got like coloring in it. Santa on a snowboard. It's also got like little games and puzzles and word searches and everything like that. So they all get to take one of those home with them.
Nice.
So
that's really good.
And then when they're done, they just walk out there, put their shoes and that back on while I bring the next crew in. So
do you give the kids a candy cane treat or something?
Right there. So it's sitting right there. So Santa, usually it's over by Santa, but of course we don't have any room here today. So Santa will just say, you can have a candy cane if you want. And they go get it. And they're cherry flavor because a lot of times kids don't like the minty.
Oh, okay.
So we give them a cherry flavor or some sort of flavored ones in that.
I like my candy cane ribeye flavored.
Ribeye. I like whiskey flavor, but I can't find them anywhere.
That's because you're an alcoholic.
I'm married with 2 daughters.
No, or that. So
that's basically our setup and how we do it.
So you're selling 4x6s printed on the spot.
Yep.
And what about if they want to get bigger ones? And do they often get bigger ones?
No, not here. We don't, only because we're not set up. So what we do is we've changed our pricing from previous years. We used to do it where a 1 4x6 print was $8, and then the next 2 prints were $12, and then it was $5 a print after that.
Right.
But because it only cost me, we worked it out, and I think it cost me somewhere around 30 cents or something like that, or less, maybe even 20 cents per print to print it.
Right.
When you add the ink and the paper and that, and I'm charging $8, so it's a pretty good markup there. But now we just equaled it out. It's like $10 for one, $5 each additional print after that. They get them in the cards, or we offer the digital files now too. So some people want the digital files so they can make more later on, or they can put them on Facebook and that instead of taking a picture of it. So what we do is we offer them the file. It's $15 for the file.
That's an add-on.
Multiple files. Yeah, it's an add-on. So it's $15.
Are many buying that?
Yeah, some of them do, and some will do both. Like they don't have to buy a print in order to get the file. If they just want to buy a file, I'll sell it to them for $15.
Okay.
But if they're doing multiple ones, where say you have the whole family together, and then they want one with just the kids, and then they want one with each kid individually, it's $15 for that first file, and then it's $5 a file after that. So
this is a high volume scenario. That's every 5 minutes you're doing a session, and the parents sit off unless they're in the picture, but mostly
unless they're in the picture, they just sit off to the side there. Yeah.
And when you're taking the pictures, do they see the preview come up on that screen?
Yes. So when I shoot it, it goes right to my Lightroom, and about 2-3 seconds later, it shows up on that screen in front of them.
So the parents are observing you taking pictures of their kids and the Santa, and then as soon as you take a picture, they see the results right away.
Exactly. So
that's
and then
pretty cool.
When we're done shooting that family, if we did 4 or 5 shots, whatever it took, sometimes it takes 10 shots to get that kid. And then the nice. Sometimes they want the crying picture too. They love the kid screaming. So, we do that, and then afterwards, my wife is over there with them, and as the other kids come in to talk to Santa, or while the kids are talking, the mom's over there, or the dads, and they're looking, and my wife's going through, okay, here's picture number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3, and it's showing up on the screen as she's doing it, and figures out what they want to order. And
I know I know a high volume scenario. Some people would be like, "Well, it's not my thing. I'm more like the Larry Hertzberger and the Maria, $3,000 to $5,000 wall portraits." Which is a totally different situation. And but what you're doing can be very, very, very lucrative from others. I've never done that myself, but it's still, I'm familiar with and have done high volume scenarios. When you shoot hundreds of them in a day, after a couple of days, I mean, your bankroll's getting pretty hefty. And
we do it Thursday nights. Yeah, it's like Thursday nights for 2 hours, Friday nights for 2 hours, like 6 to 8 both nights, and then Saturday it's like 11 to 5. We give Santa a break between 2 and 3 for lunch, and then Sundays this year we're doing 1 till 3. So it's not a lot of hours. When you add it up, you're looking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a week. For 3 weeks basically. So those 3 hours I can clear probably for 1 month there. I can clear in those 3 weeks probably between 4,000 to 6,000 profit. Just doing Santa pictures. And a lot of it is great when they just order the files because there's no physical thing to give them. So you're just basically, it's all profit really that they're giving you. And we'll get some families. We had one the other day. They ordered, there was 4 different prints that they wanted, like 4 different poses. And this one they ordered 3 copies. This one they ordered 3 copies. This one they ordered 2 copies. And this one they ordered 1 copy. So before you know it, they've got 8 to 10 pictures they ordered.
Nice.
At like, so it's a good $60 sale. And it took you less than 5 minutes to do it all and make $60 in less than 5 minutes.
It's almost it's almost in the same realm as school pictures, so to speak.
Pretty much. The only difference is this one's instant gratification because they're seeing it as you shoot it, and then they're walking out with their stuff. Whereas school pictures, they're not doing that. They're shooting it, and then you're sending them proofs, and then you're waiting for the sale. Here, it's just boom, boom, out the door with all your, and you've taken their money. So next year we're going to do it a little different. We have a relative that lives in Nova Scotia, and apparently where they are, when you go online to book it, you have to pay a $10 retainer to book that spot. And then they went and they spent it on top of that, of course, because they wanted to buy more than just 1 picture in that. But that $10 was just to book it apparently, and then I guess you had to pay for everything on top of that. Well, we're thinking of doing something similar next year because you do get the odd person that goes on and books and then they just don't show up because there's no call to action there because you haven't taken any money. So we might do a $10 retainer, but then when they show up, we'll put it towards whatever they order, but it just guarantees they come because if they don't come, they lose their $10. And at least we're paid to be there.
So, I like that idea. I like the idea of prepaid way better. Although I would imagine if you don't do that, that the show up rate is going to be very high because, you know, they don't want to disappoint their kids. They want their kids to meet Santa and they want the pictures.
No, exactly. So I'm hoping like this year is just the first test because we've never done it in our studio before. And it took a lot of my studio there. It takes a lot of space. And behind where I'm sitting there shooting, behind me in the far, far wall towards the lounge there, I've actually got a portable pop-up, just like one of these guys here, but it's a white one because Friday I've got to do a headshot for a guy. And I don't have my white wall there anymore. So I've got it set up behind me. And we've put our passports on hold until January for 2 reasons. One, just the space and the time and that. I mean, I could do it with that white pop-up backdrop. But the other thing is because of the shortage of 4x6 paper right now that I'm having. I could do the Epson, but the problem with the Epson we found is the paper we use for it, the back of it, when I take my stamp that you have to stamp on the back of a passport photo, it either was taking too long to dry or it wasn't drying at all. So it would just smudge and you wouldn't even be able to read it. So whereas with the DNP printer, when I stamp the back, it takes about 10 seconds and it's almost completely dry and you can just get away with it. So
who knew?
And I tried one where I stamped it on a label and stuck the label on the back, and I thought, hey, it looks great. And the lady called me back and said, can we get those printed again? Because I looked on the application, we're not allowed to put a stamp on the back, or I mean a label on the back. It has to be a stamp. So I couldn't put. I had to reprint it for them on the DNP paper instead, and then stamp it because I was trying to save my DNP paper for Santa pictures. But
yeah, the passport people are very fussy about stuff like that, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. But so far we've done really well. I think on Saturday, last Saturday was our first, or no, Friday night was our first one. We did from 6 to 8 last Friday, and we had about 17 people show up between those 2 hours. because you could do 12 in an hour with 5-minute slots.
Yeah.
So the first hour was just run right from 6 to 7, and then we had like 2 or 3 that we shot between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Saturday was just run and gun. We had about 39, 40 families come between those times, and now we're just
busy day.
It was. So tomorrow we got 2 hours, and Friday 2 hours. I think we've got somewhere around the 15 to 16 people booked for Thursday and Friday each. And then Saturday, right now, we're at the 40 something again. So they're long days.
That's this Saturday coming up. And then, well, I guess, what about the next weekend? Are you shooting that weekend as well?
Yeah. So what we're doing this year is we're going to do this Friday night, or this Thursday and Friday night, the all day Saturday, 11 to 5. Sunday, we're doing 1 till 2. Then we take the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. And then we're going to go from Thursday that week. I don't know what day that is, but Thursday night, Friday night, all Saturday, 2 hours Sunday, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, all the way to the 23rd. The 23rd is our last night.
Okay, so you're going almost right up to Christmas.
Sorry?
You're going almost
1 to 3 on Sunday, sorry. And then, so starting next Thursday, we'll go from Thursday all the way to the 23rd. So the weeknights and the Saturday and the 2 hours on Sunday. And then 23rd is our done. And then we close up our studio for about 2 weeks. We close up with the school break. So we don't go back until I think it's the 10th or whatever. Whenever the kids go back to school, that's when we open the studio back up. And then I start more of our volume because that's when we start Petawawa Minor Hockey's pictures.
Right.
So
that's
we're doing that in the studio again.
That's your Swiss Army knife of photography. Santa picture, hockey pictures, Christmas minis, fairy pictures, headshots. There's 5. There's 5 items right there.
Pinups.
And maybe someday we'll get you back into shooting weddings. But
I don't know. I actually it's funny. Well, Colleen's right there. What was the name of that company that sent me that email today for a wedding? I know, but they came through a different. Yeah, there was something Kiss. I forget what it was called. I guess it's one of those companies where I messed up way back when I did weddings. You go on there and you put your company name on there, and then people go and look for wedding photographers, and they find a wedding, and they go and somebody had emailed, I guess, Colleen or myself through that today, asking, "Hey, I know it's short notice, but are you available for a wedding on? I think it was like 2 weeks from now or something like that, December 20th." She knows it's short notice, blah blah blah. So Colleen had to actually write an email back thanking them for thinking of us, but unfortunately we don't do weddings anymore, and we're not available on that day for you. Sorry. So
even if they said $2,000 for 3 hours of work, no, it's tempting, man. It's tempting.
Not for that much, no. If they said I'll give you $10,000 to $15,000 for the day, like a Sal Sankata type of wedding, then maybe I would.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I'm sure
that's
Sal
good.
Gets that.
You got a variety of areas that you're plugging into, and that's what's important. And one season ends, another season starts. So you're going to get into hockey coming up soon. Yeah,
and the hockey, again, like last year, we're doing it in our studio with the white background again, and we'll have them only because getting into the rinks this year and that is a little harder. So hopefully by this time next year, we can do our Santa pictures back in, if not the mall, back in the other store, the Giant Tiger that we're looking at going into, which is a win-win. It's right downtown. It's got free parking, and it brings people into the Giant Tiger. So he's happy about it, and he's willing to store the stuff for me upstairs in his storage room there for the year. So hopefully that works out. Boutique. Do you have you been in touch with them? Have you been communicating? Yep. He's been wanting me there for years, but we finally got to the point where this year we were going to do it, but his head office won't let us in there to do it this year because of COVID. But before you said no because you were in the mall. It wasn't no. What it was is the mall, the setup that I have, and I was going to show you the house that I built and everything around it, and those elves and the stocking that we have there, all that setup. Other than the flooring I used and the plexiglass and my backdrop there, everything else I bought from the mall. The mall did it for 40 years or something like that. Colleen, my wife, she remembers that same setup that they had in the mall when she was a kid. So they've owned it the whole time. And then about 5 years ago, I've been doing it for about 13 years there now. And about 5 years ago, a new manager took over, and he said that the ownership of the mall, which is done by some conglomerate out in Toronto area who owns the mall, they didn't want to have to deal with the Santa pictures anymore. And so they said, ask photographer if he wants to take it over, and then he can buy the stuff off us. So they gave me, this was about 4 or 5 years ago. So I said, okay.
Hold on. Let me just get clear on this. They were doing their own Santa pictures, collecting the money, yada, yada, yada.
No, I still did all that. What it was is they owned all the setup.
Yeah.
And they paid for Santa. They set it all up. I just had to show up with my own ink and paper and printer and everything. And I collected money and did all that. And for a while, they did also those cards and the coloring books. They did those also. I just had to show up and shoot, and any money I made was mine.
So they were doing all that for you for free.
Exactly. And they also paid for the advertising on the radio for the month of December.
Wow, that's
through
pretty
my
good
FM here. So they were doing all that. And then about 4 or 5 years in, before the lady who was the manager left, she said, well, since we're not doing the Polaroids anymore and we're paying for all the cards and coloring books, would you be willing to pay for the cards and we'll just pay for the coloring books? I'm like, sure. It cost me, like, at the time, I think $300-400 for 1,000 of those little mounts that we put the prints in, and that way I get my logo in there. I'm like, sure, I'll do that. So it was worth it to pay it. And then she left and the new manager took over, and that's when they said, you know what, the mall wants nothing to do with it anymore. So if you want to take it over, you can do it. We'll store your stuff here at the mall all year. As long as you're still going to be doing it at the mall, we'll store your stuff here. And
cool.
You would just have to take over paying for everything and setting it up yourself. And we'll also pay for the advertising on the radio. I said, okay. So they did the radio advertising. They stored my stuff for free. Didn't charge me to be in the mall during the Santa pictures because they just happy to have me there. But the problem was, and the guarantee was, if I did this, I bought the stuff from them at a really cheap price. I had the guarantee and the contract that I would stay for at least 2 more years. And I said, yeah, I could do that. So we stayed for at least another 2 years.
Yeah.
The mall's falling apart. The roof is falling down. And so we were getting to the point, we're getting a little upset. But because they were still storing all my stuff there, and the guy from Giant Tiger's like, if ever you want to move over here, let me know. We'll get you over here. So then we stayed for a 3rd year. And then last year would have been our 4th year there. And unfortunately, with the whole COVID, Giant Tiger wasn't able to take us. So we stayed at the mall there. And we did it another year at the mall. And then this year, the mall's going under construction. So because of that, we couldn't do it in the mall. So I called Giant Tiger back and I said, listen, I'm ready to move over if you want me. And he's like, well, we do. But he goes, unfortunately, our head office won't let us have you in there. And I said, okay. But he goes, I tell you what, if you want to do it next year when we're ready, we'll store your stuff upstairs. We won't charge you, and we won't even charge you to be here because it's a win-win for both. He's a win-win because it brings people into the Giant Tiger store throughout the month of December.
Yeah.
And the only thing he won't do, of course, is pay for the radio advertising. But he does his own radio advertising on his own store. So maybe he'll throw little things in there when he does that. And he'll store the stuff for us for free.
If you did a few low-cost Facebook ads, I mean, it's gonna go viral.
That's all I'm doing this year, as just a Facebook through my Facebook page. And I was going to show it to you guys, but unless you can get it on there, I don't know, sharing screen and go to my Facebook page. But what we do is we build a calendar, and we put a post there. It's got the calendar of the dates that were there. And then it has another page on it that shows all the requirements of how we're running it, what the rules are. You got to wear a mask coming in, wear a mask talking to Santa. You can take it off on your picture. It just has everything listed there, how we're doing it. But in the write-up, it's also got a link to our Calendly page where you can go and book your time. And then it's got a link to the government page where you can actually go and do your COVID screening. So the day of, you're supposed to do your screening. It's like 30 seconds just to say that you haven't been out of the country or traveling and blah, 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 blah. And but we made it as simple as we can, and that's all we've done. And since then, yeah, there it is there. You can see the calendar there.
Yeah.
So there's the write-up there. It shows our Calendly link and everything there. And then it's got the calendar. It's got the write-up where that wreath is. It's how we're doing it. And it's even got the price list right in there for them. So we made it as simple, and I shared that on as many pages as I could. So
it would be easy to, well, do you collect the mailing addresses or email of all your other Santa clients?
I used to. I haven't done it in a while. Since I left, I used to use the same company you did. It was AWeber? No. Yeah, I think it was AWeber I used to use for my emailing list, but I don't use them. Now I have MailChimp, but I haven't used it in a long time, and my website was redone, and I got to get linked back up again.
You could, or you could just email them all one at a time. I mean, it's a lot more work, but sit down and send out 100 so emails.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just thinking. But
Yeah,
so
in the future for sure.
Next year you're going to Giant Tiger. The mall
Cross
is
our
going
fingers.
to do what? They're going to
Nothing.
they're going to lose you.
They're going to miss me. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it took them so because what they're doing is the one mall they're cutting it almost in half. There's only going to be one entrance into the mall with one. It's not going to be very big. A lot of people don't go to that mall because there's not enough stores in there for them. There's only like a no frills, a Heart store, which is like a department store kind of, and some like a hair salon and a nail place. There's not much in that mall anymore.
It's in Pembroke or Petawawa?
It's in Pembroke. It's about 2 minutes down the road from my thing here. There's like a brick there and stuff, but it's in a separate building. So
it's one of those malls that's just sort of failing.
Yes, the roof was failing for a long time, so they couldn't get stores in there. The brick used to be inside the mall. Now they moved to the outside where they have their own entrance now.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's about 3 different stores there that have their own entrance. You don't even go into the mall for them. So, and that's another thing the mall let me do this year, but since we were doing it out of our studio, I gave him some 11 by 17 posters that just explained to people saying, due to construction in the mall here, the SantaPics this year was been transferred over to John A. Butler Photography Studios. It has the address and says right across from Murphy Ford car dealership. And they were willing to put that at both entrances of the mall there so that they know where we are.
Very good.
So I would have showed you like last year's setup and the setup from a few years ago, but of course my internet went bye-bye on me there. So I'm on my data on my phone. So
maybe when you're back, you could show a picture and put it in the thread when I put this replay
I can definitely do that.
That would be amazing. So, and okay, well, it's time to go. We're a little over an hour now. So,
and maybe what I'll do is this Saturday or something, if we get a chance, or on one of the days, I'll do a live video through the NoBS page there, so people can watch us do the job and stuff, and how my wife does it and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
I got to convince my wife to let me have her on camera, of course, because she's the hardest to get in front of a camera.
My wife's the same way. Hates being on camera.
Yeah.
So.
But if we can do it, we'll do it. Or if not, I'll do it during the break time or something. I'll do like a feed where you could see me dealing with the people without my wife in there, and then I can show you later how we do it and stuff.
So. Well, she's helping you with these sessions.
Yeah, she sits at the laptop, so I'm shooting tethered to the laptop, and then she's sitting over there, so that when that's done, I'm dealing with Santa and the kids and stuff, while the mom's dealing with Colleen doing the sales over there. And
you're wearing your mask?
I wear my mask until I get behind the camera. Then I sort of pull it down because I'm like 6 feet away from everybody. And then, but if ever I go up to do something or to talk to them, I always put it back up again. So
I'm really bad. I never wear mine. One person in the last year and a half has asked me to, but that's it.
And then Santa wears his mask, and he actually has this little Santa Claus one that he wears while he's talking to them. But then when he goes and sits on his chair, he takes it off for the picture because he's behind a plexiglass anyway, so he's okay.
Does he go ho ho ho?
He does. He's pretty good.
Yeah, good.
He's really good to kids.
He must get tired, eh? I mean, Santa, that looks like a hard job, man.
And not only that, it's funny because he lost a lot of weight because he did a little bit of the keto and stuff, and over the years he's lost the weight. So the kids are wondering why he's so skinny. So
COVID.
But he uses his own beard too. He's not using like a fake beard. He used to use the fake beard with us for the longest time, but about 4 years ago he started growing his own, and now it's way better. The kids love it because like, that's not the real Santa, and then they come and pull on his beard and like, oh, it is real. And then being a host on your TV here on my own show, we did a Christmas special last year, and we used my Santa and a bit of my setup. We set it up in the Your TV studios, and we actually did a live call-in show where kids can call in through Zoom. They registered ahead of time, a couple weeks ahead of time. Really? And then it was a 3-hour program. I hosted it, and we had Santa there as if he was calling in from the North Pole, and the kids were able to sit there and talk to Santa. And the good thing about it was he'd give like each kid about 5 minutes and talk to them and say, okay, well, you be good and blah, blah, blah. They would go. And then if they ever came to the mall to get their Santa pictures, they would see the exact same Santa that they talked to at the North Pole on TV. So it makes it more realistic to them too. Like, wow, he is the real one. I talked to him at the North Pole.
Amazing.
Like
I love it. So did the cable TV company pay for his fees to do that?
No, we just did I volunteered, he volunteered, because it was the local cable company. And that now they didn't get to do it this year. So I'm going to talk to the guy today, say, are you guys still not doing it? Because we would have done it by the 3rd, and we haven't done it yet. It's too late to advertise it now. So if not, I've talked to a friend of mine who's a videographer here, and we're going to do a live stream from here maybe next week. And we might do a call-in show and do it ourselves right here from my studio.
That would be amazing. That's like free publicity. Go for it.
Yeah, and just do it through Facebook Live and stuff like that, and YouTube. And as we're doing it, the kids can we can advertise it through a Facebook, and we'll get enough people for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, kids would love that. Well, it's kind of sad that we got to wear masks and we got to go on Zoom and all that stuff and plexiglass. It drives me crazy, and hopefully it'll all come to an end. You know, you think of people like Maria and Larry, and they're all doing regular sessions with Santa in the room in person, and you know, and we're not because of fear. We're all scared. Everyone's going to die, and hopefully it comes to an end soon enough, and we just sort of move on. So I can't wait for that day. So,
I'm insane.
Yeah. All right. I'm back to work. Thanks for doing this.
Yep. I'm going to go back to work too. You're going to have to shut all this down because I have no control. All I have is mic, cam, the cam mic button, a chat button, and a leave button. That's all I got.
You're on your phone. Well, thanks for using up your data. Appreciate it. Everyone else, thank you. If you have any comments, throw it in the replay either on the YouTube or in the Facebook group for NoBS Photo Success, and your questions are welcome. So,
all right.
Take care, guys.
Sayonara.